The fact is, the United States is fragmenting. It's been fragmenting for a long time. We are actually about to enter a very difficult historical stage. So many of these American assumptions that we are all on the same page when it comes to things socially and culturally, that we can all get along, that this is all one nation. I think all of these things are being brought into question. We're going to have to pass through this phase that America is in. I first started using the term alternative right or alt-right back in 2008. And at that point, the alt-right was almost more of a negative term. It was defining what we were not. And what we were not was mainstream conservatism, and we were not George W. Bush conservatism. This is very different than a conservatism that has its basis in, say, free market economics or libertarianism or foreign policy or so on. Our basis, our starting point is identity. Their starting point are abstract ideas. Our starting point is, who are we? By 2040, whites are going to be a minority in the United States. There are very similar things, different but similar things happening in Europe.
London is no longer an English city.
We can't unilaterally disarm ourselves in this world.
I hope they kill all the white babies.
The way we've thought about things in our lifetime is that if someone came into our culture who isn't us, that's good. If we could do something that wasn't for us, oh, that's wonderful. We have demoralized ourselves, and we have moralized non-whites. We have become obsessed with the other, and we have been afraid to affirm ourselves.
White Americans need to do a much better job of listening when African Americans talk.
If we're going to survive this new world that we're entering, we can't just be talking about abstract ideas like the Constitution. We have to have identity politics. Every other people has their own kind of ideological identitarianism. There has to be some ideological movement that is about us.
America went from being a frontier to being a people, then to being a economic platform for consumers from around the world. This is what Hillary Clinton was talking about when she said she wanted a hemispheric open market. This is what George Soros or Mark Zuckerberg want. They want an undifferentiated global population consuming sugar, consuming drugs, while watching porn on VR goggles, while they max out their credit card. What I find so amazing about the people who are protesting me out there is that they think they're the underdog. Think about those places of power. The US military, public education, academia, major corporations, whether they're financial on the East Coast, Silicon Valley, what have you. What do they all agree on? Diversity is good. We're all the same. We're one world. You are not speaking truth to power when you mouth their tired bullshit. These institutions do not want you to have a sense of yourselves. They do not want you to have identity and rootedness. They do not want you to have duties to your people. They do not want you to think of yourself as part of an extended family that is bigger than any single individual. Because the moment you have those duties, the moment you have that identity, is the moment that you are no longer the perfect, passive consumer citizen that they want to create. Have an identity. I don't need to tell that to African Americans. I probably don't need to tell that to Native Americans or Indians or Asians or anything. But I will tell that to white people. Have a goddamn identity. Have a sense of yourself.